Sometimes it's not life that's heavy. It's the stories we carry about how much we should care. We've been taught that to be kind is to always say yes, to always help, to always feel responsible for everyone else's peace. But what if much of that caring is actually fear? Fear of being seen as selfish. Fear of being unloved if we stop trying so hard. The truth is, real compassion doesn't drain you, it frees you. The more you try to hold everything, the more you lose touch with your own center. In this video, we'll explore how to care without carrying the world on your shoulders. You'll learn the Buddhist path to emotional lightness, how to let go of unnecessary burdens, stop over-caring about what doesn't serve your peace, and rediscover the calm that's been waiting beneath all that noise. We'll look at how awareness, stillness, and gentle detachment can help you love more deeply without losing yourself in the process. By the end of this reflection, you'll understand that peace doesn't come from caring less about people. It comes from caring rightly. You'll see that the less energy you pour into what drains you, the more you have for what truly matters. And in that shift, you'll find a quiet kind of happiness, one that doesn't depend on control, approval, or outcome, but flows naturally from within. Lesson 1. The invisible weights you carry. Like travelers adding pebbles to a bag, thinking they're treasures, we move through life collecting opinions, expectations, and obligations, most of them not even ours. Each small concern feels harmless on its own, yet over time, the load becomes unbearable. We wonder why peace feels distant, unaware that much of our exhaustion comes not from the journey itself, but from the unnecessary things we've chosen to carry along the way. Every glance of disapproval, every unspoken standard, every fear of disappointing others quietly fills the mind. We begin to mistake these burdens for identity, as if being a good person means saying yes to everything, or as if being strong means never putting anything down. The truth is, many of these weights were handed to us, a parent's unfulfilled dream, society's definition of success, the constant pressure to be understood. Without realizing it, we've built a backpack full of other people's noise and called it who we are. Mindfulness begins when you stop walking long enough to notice what you've picked up. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine laying that backpack before you. Open it gently and look inside. Which of these stones truly belong to you? And which were slipped in by others when you weren't looking? Awareness is the first act of release. Ask yourself quietly, what am I carrying that isn't mine? Maybe it's the need to always please. Maybe it's the fear of being misunderstood. Maybe it's the silent weight of someone else's expectation. Whatever it is, recognize it without judgment and know that you have permission to put it down. Peace doesn't arrive when life becomes lighter. It begins when you decide to stop carrying what was never meant for you. Lesson 2. The art of peaceful loss. Loss is often seen as something cruel, a thief that takes what we love and leaves us with emptiness. But what if loss is not a punishment, but an invitation? In the quiet space that follows letting go, life often begins to breathe again. Like pruning a bonsai tree, we don't cut away branches because we hate them. We do it so that light can reach the hidden parts within. In the same way, every ending you face is clearing space for a new beginning that could not have existed before. We spend much of our lives gripping tightly to what feels familiar: relationships, identities, plans, even pain. We hold on because letting go feels like losing control, like erasing who we were. But the truth is, growth demands space. A garden that refuses to shed its leaves never blooms again. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that impermanence is not a threat. It's the rhythm of life itself. When you resist it, you suffer. When you move with it, you evolve. Think about the moments when life has asked you to release something, a friendship that no longer aligned, a version of yourself that no longer felt true, a dream that no longer fit your path. At first, it may have felt like a wound, but later, that space became the ground for something softer, wiser, freer. The same emptiness that once frightened you became the doorway to peace. So instead of asking, "Why did I lose this?" try asking, "What is life making room for?" Maybe the loss isn't a closed door, but a quiet clearing where light can finally reach. Reflect gently. If I stopped holding on, what might finally grow? Perhaps it's self-respect, inner calm, or a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Peaceful loss is not about detaching from love. It's about trusting that love changes form but never disappears. When you stop fighting endings, you start noticing beginnings. And in that gentle awareness, you realize that what you let go of was never meant to define you. It was meant to prepare you for what's next. Lesson 3. Control is the greatest illusion. We spend so much of our lives trying to calm the wind, rearranging circumstances, fixing people, and predicting outcomes as if peace can only exist when everything goes our way. But life has its own rhythm, one that doesn't bend to our plans or our impatience. You can't calm the wind, but you can steady your breath. The more you try to command what was never yours to control, the more you drift away from your inner stillness. Suffering often begins the moment we argue with reality, when we insist that things should be different, that people should act a certain way, that timing should favor us. But the universe moves according to its own quiet intelligence. No amount of resistance can change the unfolding of what is. The Buddha taught that acceptance is not weakness, it's wisdom. It is the moment you stop fighting the current and start floating with awareness. Instead of asking, "How do I make life obey me?" ask, "How can I meet life as it is?" That shift changes everything. You stop wasting energy on what's beyond your reach and begin nurturing the calm that's always within. This is the true practice of control, not over the world, but over your own reactions. When anger rises, breathe. When plans collapse, pause. When fear whispers, listen but don't follow. Redirect your focus inward, where real mastery lives. Each time you respond with patience instead of panic, you reclaim your peace. Each time you breathe through what you can't fix, you strengthen the quiet part of you that no storm can move. Life will always bring wind, but when your breath is steady, even the strongest gusts pass gently through you, leaving your calm untouched. Lesson 4. Stillness as strength. In a world that celebrates speed, noise, and constant reaction, stillness is often misunderstood as weakness. Yet the deepest strength a person can possess is the ability to remain calm while everything else is in motion. Imagine a quiet lake under the night sky, its surface so calm that it mirrors the moon perfectly. If even a single ripple disturbs it, the reflection shatters. The lake doesn't try to control the wind or stop the clouds from passing. It simply waits. And in that waiting, it regains its clarity. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it's the mastery of it. It's the moment between stimulus and response, between chaos and clarity, where awareness breathes before action. Many people mistake stillness for inaction, believing that doing nothing means giving up. But true stillness is inner readiness, a disciplined calm that allows you to see things as they are before choosing how to respond. When your mind is quiet, your perception sharpens, and you act from wisdom, not impulse. Think of the storms you've already survived, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the times you thought you wouldn't recover. Each one tried to shake your foundation, yet here you are, still standing. Perhaps those storms were never meant to destroy you, but to reveal how deep your roots truly go. The tree doesn't grow strong in gentle weather. It grows strong by holding steady in the wind. The same is true for the mind. Every difficulty becomes an opportunity to deepen your stillness, to train your heart to stay soft yet unshaken. The practice of stillness begins with a simple breath. When life feels chaotic, pause. Feel the air move in and out of your body, steady and patient. Notice how even in the midst of confusion, there is always one thing under your control, your awareness. Stillness doesn't mean ignoring what's happening around you. It means meeting it from a place of balance. A calm mind can see solutions that panic would never find. A steady heart can turn conflict into understanding. Ask yourself softly, what storm has taught me I'm stronger than I thought? Remember those moments when life pushed hard, and yet something within you refused to break. That quiet endurance is your strength. Let it remind you that stillness is not withdrawal. It's the power to face life without being consumed by it. In the end, the calmest person in the room is often the most powerful. They do not rush to prove, to defend, or to fight every wave. They know that storms pass, but the grounded remain. So be like the lake that reflects the moon, undisturbed, aware, and strong enough to mirror truth even in the darkest night. Lesson 5. Loving without clinging. Love is often mistaken for possession, for the need to hold, protect, and keep close what we cherish. We're taught that to love deeply means to worry constantly, to cling tightly, to never let go. But love that depends on control is not love. It's fear in disguise. Fear of loss, fear of change, fear of being left behind. True love is not measured by how tightly you hold, but by how freely you allow the other to be. Imagine holding sunlight in your palm. The tighter you close your hand, the faster it slips away. Only when you open your palm does the warmth remain. This is the essence of loving without clinging. The art of letting love stay because it feels safe, not trapped. When you loosen your grip, what's real remains. What was meant to leave was never yours to keep. Care and control may look alike, but they come from entirely different places. Care comes from compassion. Control comes from fear. Care says, I want to understand you. Control says, I want you to act as I expect. One nurtures connection. The other suffocates it. Many relationships break not because love disappears, but because it was never allowed to breathe. When love becomes a cage, even the gentlest heart begins to wither. Buddhist wisdom teaches that detachment is not indifference. It is freedom rooted in understanding. When you practice loving detachment, you don't withdraw from people. You simply stop trying to own their journey. You respect that every soul has its own path, lessons, and timing. You stop measuring your worth by how closely others stay and start feeling love as something that flows through you, not something you have to hold on to. Ask yourself, do I care to connect, or do I care to control? This simple reflection can transform how you love. It can turn anxious attachment into peaceful presence. When you stop trying to manage others' feelings, choices, and paths, you discover a deeper kind of intimacy, one built on trust, not tension. To love without clinging is to stand beside someone, not above them. It's to say, I am here with you, not, I need you to stay for me to be okay. It is to hold sunlight with open hands, warm, alive, and free. When you learn this, love stops being something you chase or guard. It becomes something that expands. Detachment doesn't make love colder, it makes it purer. Because when love is no longer about possession, it finally becomes what it was always meant to be, a reflection of peace itself. Lesson 6. The mirror of the mind. The world you experience is not just what happens outside you. It's what your mind decides it means. The mind paints the world in its own colors, turning small moments into deep stories, neutral words into wounds, and fleeting emotions into truths that feel permanent. What we call reality is often a reflection of our inner state, not an exact picture of what's real. When the mind is clouded with fear, everything appears threatening. When it is calm, the same world feels gentle and full of possibility. Buddhist wisdom teaches that most suffering does not come from life itself, but from the stories we tell ourselves about life. Someone forgets to reply, and the mind says, they don't care. A plan changes, and the mind whispers, you failed. Fool, These interpretations feel real, yet they are only echoes, ripples across the surface of the lake, not the depth beneath it. The moment you start believing every thought, you become trapped inside your own reflection, mistaking distortion for truth. The first step toward peace is awareness. Begin to notice your thoughts without becoming them. When a painful emotion rises, pause and ask yourself, is this pain real or the echo of my own thought? Often you'll find that what hurts most is not what happened, but how your mind replayed it, exaggerated it, or kept it alive long after the moment passed. This is where mindfulness meets psychology, in the gentle art of self-observation. You cannot silence your mind completely, but you can learn to see through it. Each time you observe a thought instead of reacting to it, you weaken its control. Each time you replace a harsh inner story with a kinder truth, you heal a small part of yourself. Thought reframing isn't denial, it's clarity. It's the difference between saying, they hurt me on purpose, and saying, maybe they were lost in their own pain. One tightens the heart, the other opens it. With practice, your mind becomes a mirror that reflects, not distorts. You begin to notice that peace doesn't depend on a quiet world, but on a quiet interpretation of the world. The next time your thoughts paint your reality in dark colors, remember, you hold the brush. You can choose to soften the edges, change the hue, and let the light in again. Lesson 7. The discipline of silence. We live in a world that worships expression. Every thought must be shared, every emotion must be voiced, and every silence is treated as something awkward to fill. But in the quiet language of wisdom, silence is not emptiness. It is sacred clarity. It is the space where understanding deepens and truth begins to breathe. True silence is not the absence of words, it is the presence of awareness. It is the calm that allows you to hear what noise can never teach. Imagine your words as arrows. Once released, they cannot be retrieved. But between drawing the bow and letting go, there is a still moment, a breath where intention forms, where aim becomes wisdom. That is what silence offers. It is the space between impulse and expression, where you decide whether your words will heal or harm, connect or divide. Most people speak before their heart is ready, and in doing so, they trade peace for noise. Yet when you choose to hold your words, to let your emotions settle before you speak, your voice becomes something sacred, an instrument of calm instead of chaos. Buddhist philosophy teaches that mindful speech is not about saying less. It's about saying only what carries truth and kindness. Silence is the first step in that discipline. When you practice silence, you create room for awareness to rise. You begin to notice how much of what you once said came not from clarity, but from reaction. A need to be right, to defend, to prove, or to fill the air. But silence needs no validation. It doesn't rush to explain or justify. It simply rests, knowing that truth will reveal itself in its own time. In moments of tension, silence becomes your strongest ally. When anger swells, when misunderstanding stirs, pause before you speak. Let your breath slow. Feel the energy that wants to escape through your words, and instead of releasing it, hold it in compassion. Ask yourself, will these words bring peace, or will they deepen the storm? This simple pause transforms relationships, diffuses conflict, and preserves your inner steadiness. Silence allows emotion to cool into wisdom. Many confuse silence with suppression, but they are not the same. Suppression hides emotion. Silence listens to it. Suppression locks pain away. Silence invites it to unfold and teach. When you hold space for silence, you give your heart time to translate raw feeling into understanding. You become your own witness, patient, kind, unhurried. It is in that still waiting that your truest insight emerges. Think of how nature speaks. The sun rises without announcement. The moon glows without noise. The trees grow in complete silence. Yet their presence changes the landscape entirely. The universe does not need to explain its rhythm, and neither do you. In silence, you begin to align with that same timeless rhythm, calm, grounded, powerful, without effort. In daily life, this discipline may look simple: pausing before you respond to a harsh message, breathing before you defend yourself, choosing not to react to provocation. But within that pause lies immense strength. You are not avoiding the moment, you are mastering it. Each time you hold your peace when the world expects noise, you expand your awareness. You step out of habit and into intention. Practice this art gently. Begin by taking a few moments of silence each day. No music, no phone, no conversation. Just you, your breath, and the quiet hum of existence. Let your thoughts rise and fall without judgment. You may notice how the mind resists at first, searching for distraction, but if you stay still long enough, you'll feel a shift. The noise begins to settle, and what remains is clarity. Ask yourself, when was the last time I spoke only after my heart was ready? You may realize that many regrets in life came not from silence, but from words spoken too soon. Over time, you'll see that silence is not passive, it's powerful. It gives your words depth and your actions meaning. It teaches you to speak less often, but with greater purpose, not to fill space, but to bring light into it. So let silence be your teacher. Let it polish your thoughts, soften your emotions, and guide your speech. The world will always urge you to respond, react, explain, but you are not the world. You are the calm beneath it. Words are arrows. Silence is the space where aim becomes wisdom. When you master that space, your voice will carry not just sound, but truth. And even when you speak softly, the world will listen. Lesson 8. The Morning Reset Ritual. Every day begins like an unwritten page, yet most of us wake already crowded with yesterday's thoughts. Before our eyes even open, the mind rushes ahead, replaying unfinished conversations, worrying about what's next, and scanning the invisible to-do list that never seems to end. We reach for our phones, scroll through the noise, and let the world write the first lines of our day. But Buddhist monks begin differently. They start by clearing the mind, what we might call spiritual hygiene. They know that just as you would not step into the world without washing your face, you should not step into life without cleansing the mind. Imagine your mind as a desk. Each day the world piles papers on it, notifications, demands, judgments, comparisons. If you begin your morning without clearing that desk, everything feels cluttered before you even begin. But if you start with a few minutes of quiet awareness, you give yourself the gift of space. You begin from order instead of chaos, from peace instead of pressure. The ancient monks practiced this through mindful breathing and gratitude. They understood that the first moments of the morning shape the entire rhythm of the day. When the mind begins calm, it stays steady, even when storms arise. When it begins scattered, even small challenges feel overwhelming. That's why your morning is sacred. It is the tuning of your inner instrument before the concert of the day begins. Let's create your own modern version of this ritual, one that takes only 3 minutes, but can change how you move through the world. Minute 1. Still breath. As soon as you wake, before you touch your phone or speak a word, close your eyes. Feel the air moving in and out of your lungs. No need to control it, just notice it. The body knows how to breathe. Your only task is to remember that you are breathing. With each inhale, imagine gathering peace. With each exhale, release what doesn't belong. Yesterday's worries, small irritations, scattered thoughts. This simple awareness brings your attention home. You start the day not as a reactor, but as an observer, calm, awake, and centered. Minute 2. Gratitude. Now gently shift your focus to appreciation. Look for one thing, just one, that makes this moment worth waking up for. It might be the softness of the morning light, the sound of birds, or simply the chance to begin again. Gratitude doesn't need to be grand. It only needs to be real. The monks say that the heart expands each time we notice something good. When you begin the day with gratitude, you remind the mind that life is already giving more than it takes. Minute 3. Gentle intention. Finally, set one quiet intention for the day. Not a goal to chase, but a tone to carry. Ask yourself, how do I want to move through the next few hours? Maybe your intention is patience, maybe kindness, or maybe it's simply to stay present. Whisper it to yourself as a promise. Today, I will walk lightly. This is how you train the mind to serve peace before the world demands performance. Think of this ritual as brushing your mind. Just as you wouldn't go a day without cleansing your body, you can choose not to begin a day without cleansing your inner world. These 3 minutes anchor you in mindfulness, gratitude, and clarity. They don't erase life's chaos, but they ensure you meet it with steadiness. Over time, you'll notice subtle changes. Mornings that once felt rushed begin to feel grounded. Reactions soften. The noise of the world becomes background rather than command. You start to notice small details again. The warmth of your coffee cup, the rhythm of your footsteps, the light filtering through your window. These are not small things. They are the foundation of peace. If you ever doubt the power of this simple ritual, remember peace is not built in grand gestures. It's maintained in small, consistent acts of awareness. Each morning that you begin with stillness, gratitude, and gentle intention, you are choosing alignment over distraction, consciousness over chaos. You are quietly declaring, my inner world will not be ruled by the outer one. So tomorrow, when you wake, resist the urge to rush into the noise. Before the world piles its papers on your desk, take those 3 minutes to clear it. Breathe, be grateful, set your tone. The day may still be unpredictable, but you will no longer be unprepared. The calm you cultivate in those few moments will travel with you, through traffic, through conflict, through every noise that tries to steal your peace. Because serenity doesn't appear by accident, it is created, practiced, and renewed each morning, one mindful breath at a time. Lesson 9. Freedom in simplicity. In a world that constantly tells you to want more success, more attention, more validation, choosing simplicity can feel like rebellion. Yet freedom doesn't come from adding more to your life. It comes from realizing you already have enough. Your peace grows each time you say softly to yourself, I already have enough. That simple sentence is more than gratitude. It's liberation. It's the quiet refusal to let endless desire dictate the rhythm of your life. Think of the sky. It doesn't collect clouds, it lets them pass. The sky remains vast and untouched, no matter how many storms move through it. In the same way, your true self is not defined by what you possess or what you achieve. It's defined by what you can release without losing your peace. The clouds of desire will always come and go. A new goal, a new purchase, a new comparison. But if you can let them drift without clinging, you remain free, just like the open sky that holds everything yet depends on nothing. Modern life confuses abundance with accumulation. We are taught that happiness lives somewhere ahead, in the next achievement, the next relationship, the next version of ourselves. But the pursuit never ends because the mind that always wants more will never rest. Simplicity interrupts this cycle. It reminds you that what truly nourishes the soul cannot be bought, owned, or performed. It is found in the quiet joy of enough time, enough love, enough being. To live simply is not to live without, it's to live within your means, within your energy, within your peace. It's about choosing what matters over what sparkles, depth over display. Each time you say no to something that doesn't serve your calm, you create space for what truly does. When you stop chasing more, you start noticing what has been here all along. The warmth of morning sunlight, the ease of an honest conversation, the beauty of simply breathing without rushing anywhere. This is the essence of Buddhist contentment, to see the richness in the ordinary. The monks who own little are not poor. They are free. They walk lightly because nothing owns them. You too can practice this kind of freedom by releasing the constant need to improve or compete. Begin with small acts. Delete what clutters your space. Decline what drains your spirit. Pause before buying what won't bring peace. You'll start to notice a quiet spaciousness returning to your mind, an inner clarity that feels like fresh air after a long storm. Simplicity is not about limitation, it's about alignment. It aligns your outer life with your inner values. When your actions reflect what truly matters to your heart, life begins to flow with effortlessness. You no longer feel pulled in every direction because you've stopped trying to hold everything. You've chosen to become like the sky, vast, open, and free. Take a moment to reflect. What could I release today that would make my life lighter? Maybe it's an object, a worry, or a comparison. Let it drift, just as the sky lets go of every cloud. Because in truth, simplicity isn't about having less, it's about needing less. And the less you need, the more space there is for peace to unfold naturally. When you start living this way, life stops feeling like a race to win. It becomes a quiet walk of awareness, where each step, each breath, each moment is enough. The sky never chases the clouds, it simply allows. And in that allowing, it stays infinite. So may your heart be like the sky, open, clear, and free from the weight of wanting. That is the purest form of wealth, and it has been yours all along. You can't control everything, love everyone the same, or silence every storm, but you can remain unshaken within them. Life will always ask for more than you can give, and the world will always find new ways to test your calm. Yet peace is not found in controlling what happens around you. It's born from mastering what happens within. You've learned through these reflections that freedom begins when you stop carrying what was never yours, when you stop clinging to what must move on, and when you stop arguing with the winds that will always change direction. Stillness is not an escape, it is a return. It's the quiet space where the noise of life softens and the heart remembers its natural rhythm. Every time you choose silence over reaction, acceptance over control, simplicity over striving, you step deeper into your true nature, a nature that is calm, compassionate, and complete. You begin to understand that peace is not something you earn, it's something you uncover when the unnecessary finally falls away. So, as you walk forward, remember this: the world does not need you to hold everything together. It needs you to stay centered enough to bring light into what falls apart. You are not meant to carry every burden, fix every heart, or calm every storm, only to meet each moment with a steady mind and an open heart. That is the essence of Buddhist wisdom: strength through softness, control through surrender, and love through letting go. May your hands hold lightly, your heart care wisely, and your spirit walk freely, untouched by the noise of the world. If this reflection brought you calm, share it with someone who's still learning to put down their burdens.